Good morning, boys and girls. We have another week of an animal safari lined up for you. Our animal this week is the cheetah. Our lesson from the Bible comes from Joshua 1, where Joshua runs from God. You will learn you can always turn to God. Bottom line, no matter what we've done, we don't have to run from God. Stay tuned for our skit and a message from Brother Cameron. See you later. Bye.
Wow, that's a real cheetah. Yep. Ever seen him run? All the time. Is he fast? Fastest animal on land. How fast? Dale brought his radar gun on his day off and we clocked it at 60. Wow, that's a $100 fine in these parts. You gonna pull a cheetah over and give him a ticket? I think I'll pass. Me too. So what do you feed him? About 150 pounds of meat 3 times a week. Must be expensive. No, not at all. Matter of fact, I make money feeding him. How?
Excuse me, are you the person with the cheetah on Craig's race?
Sure am.
I'm here with my world-class racing pig to accept your race challenge. Who's the pig's winner on $200, right?
Yes, ma'am. You really gonna let your pig race a cheetah?
Little McDonald here has never lost a race.
Well, how much does he weigh?
About 150 pounds.
Okay, partner. Just step through that fence.
Through here?
That's the way to paddle at Little McDonald and latch it behind you.
Okay.
Ready?
He's ready.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go!
No! Run, McDonald! Run!
Guess this time McDonald weren't exactly what you call fast food.
Hey everybody, welcome to the last animal safari lesson. We'll start with something else next week, but this week we're talking about our last animal and how it has to do with the story, but the lesson this week is talking about a cheetah. And the cheetah is a very, very fast cat. It can go up to 60 miles an hour to catch its prey. And not just that it can go 60 miles an hour, it's how fast that it gets to 60 miles an hour. It can go from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. That's faster than a Corvette. So just think about that. When he's chasing this prey down, he can usually catch them pretty easy. But look, something else that he can use his speed for is also when he gets in trouble. If he gets surrounded by some hyenas or something like that, he can actually run away from them and not have to worry about getting caught. And you know, just like the cheetah runs away from, you know, a large group of hyenas or something, sometimes we have to run away from trouble. You know, we may have to run away from, you know, rain. If we're going through a parking lot and it starts raining, we may have to run away and to get away from the rain. You know, if we're in a haunted house and we get scared, we may have to run. And, you know, if we sense danger in any kind of circumstance, we may need to just run away to protect ourselves and to get out of danger. But the story today is about somebody who tried to run away when they shouldn't have. And who they were trying to run away from was God. So we're going to go ahead and start the Bible story today. Is coming from Jonah, and it's chapter 1. And this is what it says. It says, "The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai. Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are." But Jonah got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went down to the port of Joppa, where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. He bought a ticket and went on board, hoping to escape from the Lord by sailing to Tarshish. But the Lord hurled a powerful wind over the sea, causing a violent storm that threatened to break the ship apart. Fearing for their lives, the desperate sailors shouted to their gods for help and threw the cargo overboard to lighten the ship. But all this time Jonah was sound asleep down in the hold. So the captain went down after him. "How can you sleep at a time like this?" he shouted. "Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he will pay attention to us and spare our lives." Then the crew cast lots to see which of them had offended the gods and caused the terrible storm. When they did this, the lots identified Jonah as the culprit. "Why has this awful storm come down on us?" they demanded. "Who are you? What is your line of work? What country are you from? What is your nationality?" Jonah answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land." The sailors were terrified when they heard this, for he had already told them he was running away from the Lord. "Oh, why did you do it?" they groaned. And since the storm was getting worse all the time, they asked him, "What should we do to you to stop this storm?" "Throw me into the sea," Jonah said, "and it will become calm again. I know that this terrible storm is all my fault." Instead, the sailors rowed even harder to get the ship to land, but the stormy sea was too violent for them and they couldn't make it. Then they cried out to the Lord. "Jonah's God, O Lord," they pleaded, "don't make us die for this man's sin. and don't hold us responsible for his death. O Lord, you have sent this storm upon him for your own good reasons. Then the sailors picked Jonah up and threw him into the raging sea, and the storm stopped at once. The sailors were awestruck by the Lord's great power, and they offered him a sacrifice and vowed to serve him. Now the Lord had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was inside the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. In the story, God told Jonah to go warn the people of Nineveh about their sins and how God was going to destroy them. And Jonah decided that he would run away. He was going to head in the opposite direction of Nineveh. Now look, sometimes in life, like I said earlier, there's times when we need to run. When we're in danger, when we're scared of something, just something to keep ourselves safe. But if God tells us to do something, number one, don't ever run from him, because you can't get away from him anyway. There's nowhere that you can get away from God, that you can hide, that he's not going to know that you're there. God will always find you. But also don't run from God, because if we have faith in God, we also have to have faith in God's power, in his knowledge. And if God has told you to do something, he already knows about the situation that you're going to be going into. And he also has been dealing with the people that are there. And he's also going to give you everything that you need to accomplish whatever it is that he's asked you to do, because nothing catches him off guard. So if you need wisdom, he's going to give you wisdom. If you need the right words to say, he's going to give you the right words to say. If you need strength, he's going to give you strength. So, like I said, there's a time to run, and that's to get away from danger and stuff like that. But never, ever run away from God, because you're not going to get away from him anyway. But just have faith that God is working in the situation, and he always loves you, and he always has your best interest at heart, and he will always take care of you. So never, ever run from God. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.